we got to talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning because this team, since the All-Star break, has been terrible.
Weird. Yeah,
They've
it's
been
weird.
terrible.
Weird.
All right, they are 10, 11, and 5 since the All-Star break. That is 26 games. Over their last 26 games, they have the 22nd best record in the NHL. So since coming back from the All-Star break, February 6th, the Lightning have only won 10 of 26 games, are 22nd in the NHL, have a -8 goal differential. They are currently riding a 4-game losing streak. Tanner Jeannot has been an abomination. They traded 5 draft picks and Cal Foot for him. He has 3 points in 15 games with Tampa, has yet to score a goal. The Lightning have been outscored 10-3 with Jeannot on the ice at 5-on-5. I don't want to turn this into we're just going to shit on Tanner Jeannot and what the hell were they thinking about that trade. But oh my God, Lepore, we were talking about this earlier in the show. If the Leafs can't beat this Tampa Bay Lightning team, which I think at this point we can say is the worst Lightning team of the last 3 or the last 4 years. They've been in the last 3 Stanley Cup finals. This team is worse than all those other teams, just looking at the numbers. Now, I will say this, looking at the underlying numbers since the All-Star break, they actually aren't bad. They're still controlling the shot attempts, the expected goals, and the high danger scoring chances and the scoring chances. They're still, in the positive in a lot of those categories, but it's not reflecting in the standings. They've only won 10 of 26 games since the break. So is this the time, Lepore? Like, if the Leafs can't beat this Lightning team, what the hell are we even doing?
Yeah. If things keep going the way they've been going, and on the flip side, we were pointing out earlier in the show that Matthews is back and the Leafs look fantastic. So if this keeps going the rest of the regular season, and right now, the Leafs have a 7-point spread on them with a game in hand. So let's say if this team finishes 10 plus points ahead of the Lightning, I'm not the guy to ever talk about, a team lost because of heart and character, or to say, a team just doesn't have it. Like, I always say that's lazy to say that because there are so many factors in a series. Shots go off posts, shots get blocked, they get deflected and pick a top corner. So I always hate when people use those takes. A team just doesn't have it. I will be questioning whether or not this Leafs group has it if they can't get past this Lightning team, because we don't have that excuse, man. The Leafs have always had that excuse of who they're playing in the first round, minus Montreal and Columbus. It was Washington, a President's Trophy winner. It was like Bruins teams that, were going on runs to the Stanley Cup final. Tampa Bay last year, a team that ended up going to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals. The way Tampa's looked, I mean, you try your best to throw in the trash, the pedigree that team has, but we're talking about like a third of the season that they've looked bad. Like, they've been one of the lesser teams in the National Hockey League. You cannot really ask in today's day and age of the 3-point system and how the standings are and how the conferences are kind of top heavy. You cannot really ask for a better opponent. Home ice advantage against a team that has been this bad for this long of a time. We talked a couple weeks ago when the Sabres and Sens were charging for the playoffs, and how if they slip an 8, you don't want anything to do with them because they've been riding high for half the season and they've been playing playoff hockey and hockey that matters, playing for their lives to get in. So you don't want that team because they've been great. It's the opposite with Tampa. This team has looked bad. You want that team. So if this Toronto Maple Leafs team does not beat this Tampa Bay Lightning team, if this continues the way it's gone, like, who knows, maybe Tampa wins 10 in a row and this is a completely different topic, but I won't know what to say. To me, it'll be like, yeah, something's just fundamentally wrong here on the inside. It was famous on the Amazon show. McLean mentioned the demons and the heads. I will really and truly believe that if they can't get past this Tampa team. So it's time, man. It's time. Even beyond like their play on the ice, and it affects their play on the ice. But that shit they went through with Cooper, you know what I mean? How he benched the guys.
Stamkos, Kucherov, and Point.
And then the next game, they went a period without a shot. Like Vasilevsky, and we won't be surprised if he turns it on game 1 of the playoffs, but he's had a good season. He hasn't had a Vasilevsky season. So I don't know what more you would want. Well, you know what, man? I'll put it this way. Okay, I will throw this out there. Let's go through the East. If you're the Toronto Maple Leafs, as it stands right now, who would you rather play in the Eastern Conference as opposed to the Tampa Bay Lightning? Boston, obviously not. Okay. And I will say it, I think at this point, I would take the Lightning over Carolina, New York, and New Jersey, the way things have gone. Maybe the Islanders, but okay, the team in the 7 seed or 8 seed, wherever they end up, and even the Penguins. It's still like the Crosby factor and all that. So I'd say maybe that one's a debate. I'd say one up on the Islanders. It can go either way on the Penguins, but everybody else, no, I'll take the Lightning. How the season's gone, especially with home ice advantage. There is no excuse this year unless there's a 4-way collision in the warm up of game 1 between Nylander, Marner, Matthews, and Tavares, and they're all out for the series. There's no excuse. The Leafs have to win this series, and I hate to be the guy to put like those types of expectations on them or pressure on them, but I have high expectations of them. I have for the last few years. And now there's no excuse to say, oh, we're playing a team that no, it doesn't matter now. You're better than them, period. And we've seen you lose twice to teams that you've been better than, and that includes Montreal and Columbus. And it feels kind of different because this is a Tampa Bay team that has 2 Stanley Cups, but no, they have to win.
You want another reason the Leafs should win this series? The Lightning have been bad on the road this year. You want to talk about Jekyll and Hyde? This team has been incredible at home. On the road, they're 17-19-1. 2 games under 500 on the road. Wow. That is the 22nd best road record in the NHL right now.
Yeah. Like I guess with the top heavy talents about the line matching, maybe. I don't know.
Outside of Amalie Arena, my goodness, this team has not been good. So you're telling me you're going to get a Leafs team that's playing well right now, that's going to have home ice advantage against a Lightning team that can't figure it out on the road, against an Andrei Vasilevsky who's not having a great season. He's having a good season, but he's not having like a Vezina caliber season. Their depth has taken a hit from last year, losing Andre Palat, losing Ryan McDonough. Again, their top players are having good seasons. But man, if you can't beat this Lightning team, a team that's played this many games, has played more games than any team in the NHL over the last 3+ seasons, you can't beat them now after Lepore, after they outscored them last year in 7 games. They outscored the Lightning 24-23. We're up 3-2 in the series and found a way to lose.
Yeah.
If you can't beat this Lightning team at this moment in time, I don't know what to say, Lepore. Like, anything's in play at that point. And I know we want to extend Kyle Dubas, and we both like Sheldon Keefe, and we both like the core. But my God, with the way Tampa's been playing since the break, with the way they've been playing on the road, with some of the shit going on with John Cooper and the star players. Now, I don't want to totally overreact to that because that's a veteran team. John Cooper's a great coach. I'm sure they're going to figure some things out in terms of the dynamic in the room and just the feeling around that team leading into the playoffs. Like, they'll be ready to play. But my God, if you can't beat this team, I don't know, Lepore, like anything's in play. Literally anything is on the table, and I wouldn't be surprised if Matthews doesn't re-sign and wants to play out the final year of his contract. If they decide to trade one of the core 4 pieces, if they try to trade Morgan Riley or something like that, like anything's in play at that point if they can't beat Tampa this season.
Yeah, it would be tough to argue with anything. And again, I hate to be the guy just to have the answer, just because. That's the state we would be in. Should Kyle Dubas get fired? Has he done a good job? Yes, but he's gone. I don't care. Like, something's just wrong here. And it does get to a point, let's face it, where it's just a matter of it's time to move on. Whatever the reason is, it's not working and it's time to move on. We would be at that point. And that's not me to say I'll be outside Scotiabank Arena with a pitchfork saying I want everyone fired and everyone traded, but I wouldn't question any move. Like you said, dumping one of the big guys, a firing. What could you really say? I just pointed out that I would take Tampa over 5 of the teams in the easily, like no brainer in the Eastern Conference. So what more do you want, really, for a first round playoff matchup? So it's funny because as time moves on, I know we know the Leafs had the pressure builds every year with this group. They don't get it done, but this might be the most pressure packed series they've ever had, because even say last year, okay, they had home ice advantage, and like the Montreal series was weird, COVID, the bubble. No, Toronto's supposed to win this one 100%. And I think this will be the first time. And people say, oh, Montreal was that way, and maybe even Columbus. But to me, the Montreal one, like you're playing again, the whole Canadian division thing, it was just weird. Like I don't want to say I throw that one in
the Tavares injury 5 minutes into the game. There's just so much shit that went against the Leafs in that series. I don't want to make excuses. They still should have won the series being up 3-1. But with all those things you just said, Lepore, considering all the factors, like now we're back to like a regular 82 game season. Leafs have home ice. They're a big favorite. Well, they're not going to be a huge favorite, but they'll be a sizable favorite in the first round. They got to do it, man.
Yeah. What would you expect the line to be for the series? The Leafs minus what?
Because I believe last year it was pretty close to a coin flip. I want to say the Leafs were like minus 115 to win the series. Yeah. I think the Leafs are going to be like a minus 130, minus 140 favorite, honestly, to win this series. And right now, Tampa's 13th in the NHL. They have the 13th best record in the league. So as you said, Lepore, like it's hard to pick another team that you would rather play at this point. Maybe one of the wild card teams, sure, but I would rather play Tampa at this point than the Rangers, the Devils, or the Hurricanes, and obviously Boston, who's been a wagon. So yeah, I think right now the Leafs would probably be priced around like a minus 130, minus 140 favorite with home ice against a team that has been bad on the road this year. And it's just like it's put up or shut up at this point.
Yeah. Damn.
Talking it out like that, Lepore, it's a little bit scarier now because like this is it. Like we've reached the point of no return, and maybe we said that last year, maybe we even said that the year before, but I feel like this is like the true point of no return. You can't use that excuse anymore. Oh, but the Lightning have been to 3 cup finals and they have Vasilevsky and Hedman. No, enough of that shit. Beat this damn team. You're better than them. End of story.